anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
2 years ago, on Juneteenth 2021, KBLA Talk 1580 launched with a promise to give disenfranchised fellow citizens a voice in current political, economic, social, and cultural issues with an empowering, sustainable, and restorative language.
Everybody's gotta live a life under the sun, under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
As we enter our third year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issue Survey finds that for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
As Mr. Gurdjieff said, remember yourself always and everywhere. Basically, through this quote, what Mr. Gurdjieff is saying is that wherever we are and whatever we're doing, we can bring our awareness back to ourself. So if you're walking upstairs, if you're walking down the street, if you're standing in a line, if you're standing on the bus or getting on the subway or whatever, wherever we are, we can bring our awareness back into ourself. And as we do, we are actually doing an inner exercise. So remember yourself always and everywhere. I love that. Always. So, all the time, always.
Yo, the voice of reason here, right now, live on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm sitting in here with my good friend, Brother Tony Massey.
What up?
He's always a great guest to have because some of his divergent opinions, we appreciate it greatly. Tonight's topic, who did you bring into this relationship with you? We're talking about cultivating self-awareness. And we've had episodes with Dr. Alan Berger. We had Shalonda Crawford, Dr. Shalonda Crawford, a.k.a. Dr. Sunshine. We had Dr. Pacoya Robinson. We've had some heavy hitters on here. We had Dr. Mark Goulston. We've had some heavy duties on here, right? And what I'm starting to realize is self-awareness in relationship is really at a loss.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right? It is really slim pickings to find someone who is self-aware, aware of Dr. Mayo. No, thank you for reminding me. Dr. Mayo was just on. That self-awareness piece is a big piece. When you were young, did your parent or parents teach you any self-awareness tips?
No. As a matter of fact, I came in the era children to be seen and not heard.
Be quiet.
Right.
You shut your mouth.
Right. So and it was because it was believed that I had not reached a level in life where I had anything substantive to offer to adults, right? So what I've learned is when you mute someone, regardless of their age, the desire to contribute, the desire to actively, be a part of any type of social environment, you're either going to do one or two things. You're going to start talking louder and demanding to speak, and
or you're going to close off.
Or you're going to close off completely.
Yeah, that's how you create a dismissive, avoidant
really
attachment style.
So all of these so-called Karens that are out there, the people that they have this entitlement to be heard. Mm-hmm. I think we're missing a very important element of that. These people were given a voice and told that their voice matters, and now they come along and suddenly someone tells them to be quiet. Be quiet? What do you mean be quiet?
Yeah, you better stay out of grown folks' business. Right. That's what you better
exactly.
do.
So So how do I self-actualize when I was not introduced to myself until I was by myself?
Or you were only allowed to interface with a part of yourself?
No, I was only allowed to interface with who I was supposed to be to the adults in my life.
Oh, wow.
I'm telling you, when I left and got on my own, I went through this very dark period where I was left with me. And I challenged everything. My belief systems, my identity, I went through this I was almost in a chrysalis for almost 10 years.
Right.
Well, I didn't know what I believed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, was I a Republican or a Democrat? The whole nine.
Whatever. Right.
Yeah. And so the prevailing thought that I had depended on who I was with, whether it was, relationships or friendships or whatever the case may be. So I was so easily influenced because I never got a chance to find out who I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heavy stuff. JT, Atlanta, you were cooking before we came forward. Now we've come full circle. I want you to pick up right where you left off.
I was going to say there's a song by Chris Brown and Brandy called Do Better. So like Tony was just saying, if I knew better, I would do better. But sometimes you don't because it's like, I already know the feeling that it's going to give me. So I would rather do what's going to make me feel good than do what I know is best for me. So
that is so honest.
But JT, can I hit you with this? I'm going to hit you with this. Whatever you've been through is not you. How does that resonate to your spirit?
I think you need to say that one more time.
Whatever you've been through is not you.
Yeah.
I guess the question that I ask is, but then doesn't that shape who I am, which in turn makes me who I am?
Listen, look at it as software. All software gets old. It needs two things. Either it gets updated or it gets deleted.
Yeah.
And your social conditioning is soft conditioning. It's not hardware. It's software. So perceptions, beliefs, concepts, expectations, ideation, you can change all of that.
Vantage points.
You can change all of that. But first, you have to embrace. Listen. You want this?
Yes.
You have
I'm listening.
You have to embrace what you've been through.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it. Yes, I know.
Acknowledge it, then embrace it. And understand, to me, the difference between acknowledging what I've gone through and embracing it is understanding that to acknowledge something is to say that it happened. To embrace it is to accept that it happened and it can't change.
Yeah.
Right? I cannot change the past.
That's so hard.
Oh, it is. Nobody said it was going to be easy.
Nobody said, right. This is right.
If this was easy, then we wouldn't have no. There wouldn't be so many podcasts.
but
because I feel like even with me doing that, then that like I have to accept I have to embrace like my part in it, or you know what I mean, like where I Man.
Well, okay. Let me say it.
Self-accountability.
So let me put it in Krishnamurti's words. Krishnamurti says, awareness is observation without choice, condemnation, or justification. Awareness is silent observation from which there arises understanding without the experiencer and the experienced. In this awareness, which is passive, the problem or the cause is given an opportunity to unfold itself and so give its full significance. In awareness, there is no end in view to be gained, and there is no becoming. The me and the mine not being given the continuity. Jiddu Krishnamurti. What he's saying, we say, I was there when this happened.
Right.
So, and this happened to me, and thus now I'm a victim because that was wrong.
Right.
So now the event becomes a part of the identity. Just because you went through something doesn't mean you have to identify as being what you went through.
Right.
Because otherwise, what you gonna do? You gonna carry that into your relationship, veiled and couched as a deal breaker.
Yep. I was cheated on. I am someone who gets cheated on repeatedly. No one is ever going to do that to me again, and I am going to make sure of it. So I'm going to govern the behavior of my partners from now on so that I don't have to experience what I experienced before. But I'm not speaking in past tense. I'm speaking in present tense.
Right now.
Every single day.
Right now.
Every day.
Yeah.
I need to go through your phone. I need to, whatever I have to do to make sure that I don't experience that hurt, not taking into consideration that I am experiencing that hurt because I became it.
Now, Gurdjieff, now George Gurdjieff, he says it this way. Remember, you come here having already understood the necessity of struggling with yourself.
Yeah.
Only with yourself. Therefore, thank everyone who gives you the opportunity to struggle with yourself.
Yeah.
Now, our relationships would be revolutionized if we walked into intimate relationship with that kind of mindset. The real struggle is with me.
Right.
My partner may illuminate that struggle.
Yeah.
But they're illuminating it for me to see.
Right.
How I show up.
And it's on me to deal with it, not my partner.
How about that?
So I'm not asking you to fix me. I'm asking you to help me recognize when I need to fix me.
Oh, you're asking them to illuminate.
Illuminate, yeah. Put the flashlight every time. So I have abandonment issues. I have trust issues. So what I used to call triggers, I'm asking you to identify them and put a flashlight on them and bring them to my attention.
Or just put the flashlight.
Just put the flashlight. There you go.
Yes.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
Just put the flashlight on it.
Because you being here, it's going
to show.
Jay, you done got us a breakthrough.
Yeah. The reason I can do bad by myself because ain't nobody there to tell me I'm doing bad.
Hey, it's an easier way. JT from Atlanta, Georgia.
ATL.
We appreciate you. Thank you for the insight. The voice of reason is on complete fire tonight. You want to get in here and join this conversation? We're all over the nation talking about this, man. How self-aware are you? And is your lack of self-awareness the culprit for your unhappiness? 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, more from the callers.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
In our community, mental health struggles can sometimes go unnoticed. The suicide rate among Black youth has risen faster than any other ethnic group. Only 1 in 3 African Americans who need mental health care receives it. African American women are only half as likely as their Caucasian counterparts to seek professional mental health services. Even those who guide us spiritually can sometimes face their own challenges. 45% of pastors say they've experienced depression or burnout to the extent they need to take a leave of absence from ministry. As people of faith, it's time to acknowledge it's okay not to be okay. You can pray and get help. Visit normalizehelp.org for more information and resources. Join us in raising mental health awareness in our community. Funded by the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health and the Champion Counseling Center of Faithful Central Bible Church.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ain't no more good times.
They were never good.
They were never good.
We always talk about back in the day. The only reason the back in the days seems so well or good is because we ain't living it right now.
Man.
It's sucked in too.
Gosh. Self-remembering. You have to embrace the dark side of you.
Yeah.
Without judgment. And I know a lot of people hear me say that, and I say it often, but that's the real work.
Yeah.
Or else you're going to carry these shadow goblins into your relationship.
So let me ask this question. What about the people who have become so comfortable in their pain that now it becomes a way to That's their way of being unique. That's their
That's
moniker.
what they've identified with.
Yeah, there's that, but not just identified, but they've embraced it. Not what happened, but the person that has become who they are because of what they have. The victim.
Everything I'm not made me everything I am.
Right, right.
Do you see?
I hear. Yeah.
You see, and that's something that's like a center point, something for me to focus on and say I can build my self identity, or my self concept around what I've overcome.
Right.
And now what you've overcome has as much stake in your identity as you do.
And I love that, because I've always said one of the biggest mistakes we make as a society is that we judge women based on how much they can endure. The strength of a woman is the barometer for how strong a woman is how much she can endure.
Right.
Not how much she can avoid. And to me, avoidance, there's more strength in saying no than strength in repeatedly saying yes, only to eventually say no.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I hear women tell their story of all that they've gone through and they say, these things have made me strong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that that's I think there's a strength in surviving it, but at some point you have to learn how to avoid it. So at some point the protection that you develop is not protecting yourself as from a victim mentality, but protecting yourself so not that you don't have to go through it, but because I've already gone through it, I don't want to go through it again.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, I get it.
You know what I mean? It's like the person that gets robbed and carries a gun so that they don't get robbed again, and then there's the person who gets robbed and carry a gun so that they can have a more favorable outcome if it happens again. I think those are two very different people.
Listen, this whole self-awareness business is about knowing if you are asleep or not.
Yeah.
And many of us are sleepwalking, man.
Yeah, comfortably. Yeah, if I'm dreaming, just let me sleep. Yeah.
Gurdjieff put it this way.
All right.
In order to awaken, first of all, one must realize that one is in a state of sleep. And in order to realize that one is indeed in a state of sleep, one must recognize and fully understand the nature of the forces which operate to keep one in the state of sleep or hypnosis.
Yeah.
It is absurd to think that this can be done by seeking information from the very source which induces the hypnosis. One thing alone is certain, that man's slavery grows and increases. Man is becoming a willing slave. He no longer needs chains. He begins to grow fond of his slavery, to be proud of it, you see? And this is the most terrible thing that can happen to a man. Listen, I went through this, and this is what made me who I am.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't understand, young buck. Back in my day, I don't want to hear about that. Because here's the thing: if becoming a bitter, mean, I don't want to go through what you went through.
Right.
And I think, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, so forget it. This is where I kind of understood what Kanye was saying when he said slavery was a choice.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
I knew the Kanye reference.
I'm just saying, not for everyone, obviously, not the institution of slavery. I don't think that's what I'm hoping that's not what he meant. And maybe I'm giving him way more credit than he deserves.
Probably.
But I do think that there's a mentality.
And taking credit away from yourself.
And maybe so. But I do think that there's a mentality that is a lot more powerful than any chain. And that is the idea that I can achieve within the walls of my subjugation.
No, but that's what he's saying.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with him.
We are a slave to how we were raised.
Right.
We are a slave to our communication style.
Yeah.
We are a slave to our attachment style.
Yeah.
We are a slave to our expectation. We are a slave to our ambitions, our aspirations. We are enslaved to a lot of things.
But I can ascend not beyond slavery, but at the very top of it. Because although I never wanted to be a doctor, because my parents forced me to become one, and I'm successful, but yet I'm suicidal because I'm not living in my purpose or my, I'm at the top of slavery. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm at the pinnacle, the zenith of slavery. I'm just not free.
The zenith of slavery. I don't like it.
I
don't like it. No.
I'm just not free.
But again, freedom from what?
Freedom from who everyone has defined me as, and freedom from this idea that I am what I went through. Because here's the thing, like what Jay was saying, and I think a lot of people have to myself included, we have to recognize that the patterns that we create in our lives are for comfort. Because the last thing everyone wants change.
Even if they're toxic.
Especially if they're toxic.
Right.
Because if I've gone through a lifetime of toxicity, the last thing I want is peace. Because I've created comfort in chaos. And peace makes me uncomfortable. Because why isn't everything fun? I have a contingency plan. Well, I built this shelter because the bomb was coming. Now, if the bomb doesn't come, then all I did was dig a hole in the ground and waste a lot of time and money. So I'm counting on the chaos.
Fire!
Yeah.
Hey, let's get Hayward, California up in here. What's the sister's name? Marquela. Get up in here. Marquela, you're on the line?
Yes.
Hey. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, basically, what you said about spirituality, you have to both be spiritual to have self-awareness. To me, like you have to have the Most High in the front center of both selves and in the relationship. That's only how it's gonna work to me.
So there has to be a spiritual component to the relationship in order to gain self-awareness. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And what are your thoughts on that, Tony?
You know what my thoughts are. Are we talking about spirituality or religion?
She said spirituality. She didn't say religion.
I know, but a lot of us define spirituality with religion. You know this.
She said spirituality.
Right. If we're talking,
she said Most High up on you.
Who are we talking about? if we truly mean spirituality,
right.
If we truly mean the existence outside of the physical self,
right.
Then I'm with her 100%. Mm-hmm. But if she talking about Greater St. Matthew's Baptist Church up on the hill, then I can't abide by that.
But I agree with her.
No, I agree with her. Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, I was talking about outside of yourself. The inner self. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the relationship then between the spirituality and the action and the self-actualization that we're talking about?
Wait, hold that thought right there. When we come forward, we're going to get Marquela's answer to Tony's question. This is deep.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House says President Biden was never in business with his son Hunter. That's what Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters Monday. Her statement was in response to allegations claiming a Ukrainian energy executive paid millions in bribes to Biden and his son during the president's time in the Obama administration. A black Alabama woman who claimed she was kidnapped after seeing a baby on the highway is admitting it was all a hoax. On Monday, Carly Russell's attorney announced she wasn't abducted by anyone. On this day in history in 1997, a federal jury in New York convicted Autumn Jackson of extortion. The young woman who claimed to be Bill Cosby's out-of-wedlock daughter was found guilty of trying to extort $40 million from the entertainer. The U.S. Mint says Miami's Cuban queen of salsa will be the first Afro-Latina to be featured on a U.S. coin. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
2 years ago, On Juneteenth 2021, KBLA Talk 1580 launched with a promise to give disenfranchised fellow citizens a voice in current political, economic, social, and cultural issues with an empowering, sustainable, and restorative language.
Everybody's gotta live a life under the sun, under the sun, under the sun.
As we enter our third year, we are delighted that KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerges as the talk station of choice for African American listeners. In a vigorous public opinion research study, the 2023 African American Media Issue Survey finds that for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 remains the most trusted, credible, and reliable media source in Southern California for African Americans and beyond. Furthermore, 80% of those surveyed agree that outlets like KBLA Talk 1580 provide honest and authentic content about the issues most important to the Black community directly from Black journalists who understand the issues that need to be addressed. At KBLA Talk 1580, we remain committed to curating conversations that matter to you. Thank you for your continued support. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. The station that sounds like the city looks.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Find special savings on top brands like DeWalt. Right now, save $60 when you buy a DeWalt impact driver or drill for just $99 each. Plus, MVP's Pro Rewards members will earn 3 times the bonus points when shopping the Pro Zone. Shop in-store and online today. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. DeWalt offer valid 7/17 through 8/2. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 7/28. Subject to change.
Attention taxpayers. Ready for some bad news? With $80 billion in new funding from Congress, the IRS has launched their most aggressive hiring campaign ever to ramp up enforcement. If you're ignoring your taxes, don't delay another minute because your paycheck, your bank account, even your home or business could already be at risk. Now, here's the good news. Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm, can get to work immediately helping to protect you from the IRS. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their tax attorneys and licensed professionals are experts at resolving tax problems. Let them help determine if you qualify for the Fresh Start Initiative or other powerful IRS tax assistance programs. Take control. Call Optima Tax Relief now for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically Black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Boom! Hey. Now that I got your attention. Yeah. Hey. How you doing? How you doing? Come on. Hey. Baby Dub, Mary Mary. Hey. Back again. Yeah. Hey. Y'all mind walking with us for a second? Talk to him.
Tell me what you see when I pass by. A shadow, a cloud, or a light in the sky. Am I getting it wrong or am I getting it right? Well, all I can take is one step at a time. Look at me, I'm trying every day. I fall down, make mistakes, get back up, try again. Next time that you see me, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. I'm walking.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family, we're in sunny Los Angeles, California, in the heart of Africa Town, a.k.a. Lamert Park. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. I'm the voice of reason, the VOR, on fire every night with riveting relationship topics. And tonight's topic is about self-realization, right? Without, many of us go into relationships thinking we can hide from self.
Yes.
Thinking we can avoid the real work that is necessary in order to heal and elevate past hurts. But if we don't go in looking for ourselves, looking for how we show up, we're going to consistently be blindsided, by these opportunities to grow up. George Gurdjieff, he is the one that we're focusing our attention on tonight. He wrote a concept called self-remembering that gets you right lock in step with your thoughts, words, deeds, and feelings, and try to get them in a space of congruence, because many of us are not in that space. Right? What he said on it was, without self-knowledge, without understanding the working and functionings of man's machine, men cannot be free. He cannot govern himself, and he will always remain a slave. Gurdjieff's work is not so far removed from the great Krishnamurti.
No, not at all.
Because they're talking about this space where you're no longer looking at your partner through the filter of what you've been through or what is yet to be reconciled.
Right.
You're looking at them through clear specs, man. No filter, no shade, nothing. No judgment. You're looking at them clearly.
Yeah.
And in our relationship roundtables at the Cigar Lounge, I always ask, when was the last time you saw your person as they are? Not as you would like them to be.
Yeah.
Not what you need them to be for you in order to be happy. When was the last time you just saw them? And ultimately, that question leads back to, when was the last time you saw yourself?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that before we get back to Marquela?
I think that truly seeing someone for who they are, including yourself, is a very scary endeavor. And it because it means that I have to now separate who I want you to be and who you actually are. And we always talk about this mask, right? And the reality is that we do wear masks in a relationship, but we also put masks on our partners, right? So a lot of times when our partner is struggling to take off their mask, and we see them in their true self, we then put a mask on them. I don't want to see the real you, because I'm not comfortable with it.
That's ugly.
It's hideous.
It's hideous.
Right. And so I'm now attacking your attempts at being your true self, which just puts you back into your mask. So now you're wearing two masks: the mask of who you want to be and the mask of who I want you to be.
Now let me hit you with Gurdjieff.
Okay.
He gonna lock right into what you just said.
Yeah.
A man will renounce any pleasures you like, but he will not give up his suffering.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Especially if I identify by it. Especially if it's a means to recognize myself. If I was in a crowded room and I couldn't find me, I can find my pain.
Ooh.
I can find my pain.
Oh, faithful.
Oh, it's always there.
Oh,
it never lets me down.
Yeah. You mean to tell me sometimes our suffering, our pain is more faithful than the significant other we choose?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can always count on my pain, because here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Most of my pain is perpetuated by me. I am the oppressor. I am both the oppressor and the oppressed. So the chains that have locked me down in this life that I'm trying to escape, I got the key. Wow. But I'm terrified of freedom. Wow. Terrified of freedom. Oh my God, I don't want to be free.
Ooh.
I ain't got nothing to complain about.
Oh, 1-800-920-1580. Marquela, Hayward, California. Get back in here.
Yeah.
She said, yeah. Yeah.
So before the break, I asked you the relationship between spirituality and achieving self-actualization. So how does my spirituality facilitate my ability to see me?
Well, it's character, it's morals. That's what, gives you the perspective of how you supposed to be towards people, how you respect, how you love, how you, treat others, and you know what I'm saying? Like how you look at yourself too and can take corrections. So that's how, that works in a relationship with spirituality.
Okay.
To like your characteristics.
And Marquela, let me tell you, you brought the Yay area in the building. You are more than welcome to come and sit and talk with us anytime, okay?
All right, thank you.
All righty, Yay area in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We are on fire tonight. Let's get Nazarene X from Atlanta, Georgia. Get in here.
What up, Unc?
What's up,
happening? Ain't nothing too much. I dove in late, but I heard y'all been cooking. Peace to you, Uncle Tony, man. Glad to be back in the building.
Appreciate you.
Ain't nothing too much. Love, man. And I don't know, like, I've just been marinating on it all. Like that last bar, I didn't know who said it, but I did hear that same thing where it was like the last thing people gonna let go of is their suffering. And I think that just goes with the archetypes. I heard about it on the Enneagram side of things. But I think one of the things I've realized is that when we take note of the patterns that maybe we, as like red flags and stuff, or how we might feel triggered by certain situations, like I've noticed a pattern in my life to where quietly I'm acknowledging, like, I think as so-called raw as I can be, I'm still struggling in a department of like balancing what I feel like is a healthy level of compassion and grace for other people, but then like just having the bottom line, like, you could get this work as far as telling folk about themselves or whatever, like almost like in retaliation. Like, sometimes I guess the quote unquote stupid stuff about people in a way kind of like gets on my nerves, and I have a hard way of translating that because I want to be better. I want to have a better grip on my tongue and my own thoughts and things like that.
Let me give you a little advice, nephew.
Thank you, Aunt.
Just stop judging.
Right. Yeah, you did. Yeah,
see, because that's the key.
Because
as soon as you say somebody's stupid, and there are a lot of stupid people.
Yes.
But
no, listen.
I'm listening.
But you got to stop evaluating.
Yes, sir.
Everybody is on their own path, and their level of intellect or lack thereof is none of your business. Do you see what I'm saying? So sometimes we put ourselves in people's business.
Yeah.
By giving our unsolicited evaluation of them. Sometimes you can just keep it to yourself and keep pushing. Stay with me, Naz. When we come forward, more from Atlanta, Shreveport, Louisiana, and Detroit, Michigan.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
What's up, LA? The Reparationist community got something real special going down in historic Leimert Park. August 12th, 2023, this event is sponsored by Reparations United and Black Pact, fighting for justice and empowering our community. Together, we can make moves. We have an insane lineup for y'all. The sultry Rotimi, the king of LA, The Game, smooth Eric Benet, and none other than the powerful sounds of blackness. Also, we have some special guests in the house. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, State Senator Stephen Bradford, LA's beloved Councilwoman Heather Hutt, and many more. They're bringing their passion and leadership to the stage. Mark your calendars, August 12th, 2023, Leimert Park. Let's come together, support each other, and make a difference. Peace, love, and reparations benefit concert and unity rally. Be there or be left out. Produced by Tara Perry of Black Pact and Cam Howard of Reparations United.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit AfricanFocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Jerome, put on that Bobby Womack.
Nah, girl, I want to go way back. Oh, yeah, check this out.
In the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days
when I was just a little nigga, I looked up to my bigger bro, begged if I could kick it. So when he went out with girls, I could go tagging along, nagging. If she had a sis, maybe could mac a baby hood rat. Y'all remember way back then when it was 1985, all the way live. I think I was about 10. One of those happy little niggas singing the blues that be always trying to bag with the shag.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason back in the building.
I don't know why, but that song reminds me of summertime, man.
Yes, man, Los Angeles.
That's one of those songs where whether it's this one or the original, you're not upset.
No.
Because there's some songs that come on, you're like, oh, man, I thought that was that other one.
Right. No. Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason, we done hit really hard on this topic of knowledge of self and self-awareness and being conscious of who you are and not being afraid of embracing yourself. what's very interesting, you guys, I think it was Nazarene. We got Nazarene on now.
Yeah.
We got Nazarene, and you guys were saying something very powerful. And again, it sparked another Krishnamurti quote. And what I loved about what you were saying about the couple putting a mask on their partner and all.
Yep.
Krishnamurti said it this way. He says, "One is never afraid of the unknown. One is afraid of the known coming to an end."
Yeah, that's good.
And if all you've known
comes to an end, yeah.
And I don't care if it's toxic or not.
Yeah.
You're going to feel like ego death. You're going to feel like Dark Night of the Soul vibes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's I love that because the way it's framed is I fear the unknown, but the reality is, like you said, it's not what tomorrow brings. It's what you have to let go of today.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Nazarene, get back in here, man.
I'm right here. I'm looking to soak it all up, man. Yeah. Dropping them bombs.
Yes.
And I'm realizing too, like part of that humility, or part of what I believe is my first and that in essence last step in terms of removing myself from self-judgment or judging others like that. I found that how you were just speaking on, like sometimes you gotta, I guess, not fear what you know coming to an end, because for me it's just love, like, and the vibration, the essence of it all. Like, so instead of typically like giving somebody a tongue thrashing and stuff, if I feel like something is wrong with the space, I usually just audibly say love, and for me that's enough. Like, and I'm trying to be more comfortable in that, and I feel like in that breath, love for me doesn't ever end. I don't know if I'm scared of the thought of it coming to an end or anything, but that's just kind of my way of so-called dealing with any kind of energetic space inside or out. Like, that way I can just kind of reset the table, reset my space, the environment, because I personally believe that love conquers all in that sense. So I try to exude that, even like in lieu of cussing somebody out, stuff like that.
Hey, man, I appreciate you and sparing us of cussing people out. Thank you, Brother Nazarene, ex-Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get over to Detroit, Michigan. You already know that's Monique, Detroit. Get in here.
Hey, how's everybody doing this evening?
We're alive and well. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I actually love it, but I was just commenting on something that Tony said, and when he said you can slip back into being, the old faithful. I was just wondering, how do you not do that? Because it seems more authentic not to do that. And, once you realize, you're showing up as what people want you to be, who they expect you to be, and then when you realize, no, I need to show up as myself, but it's more comfortable just to be old faithful. My question is, what are techniques so that you don't do that? Because that seems to, negate everything you're trying to do.
Well, I think that comfort is the enemy of change. I think once you get to a place where and there's a difference between being comfortable and being comforted, right?
Right.
Because to me, you can be comforted in an uncomfortable situation, and that's truly what the design of partnership is all about. Because we're all going to go through these very uncomfortable situations, and there should be a comforter, someone who's going to comfort you. But if you're seeking comfort within yourself by being comfortable in what you've already know.
Wait, Tone, are you saying inherently we are the comforter?
Yeah, we really are. We have to be.
Yeah.
But if comforting ourselves involves being complacent with being uncomfortable and not getting out the situation, then you're not doing yourself any favors, right?
But that's a ugly mirror to look in.
Oh, it is. But that should make you uncomfortable. This idea that I know how to deal with this type of pain.
Right.
What I don't know how to deal with is that type of pain.
Right.
So I'm just gonna deal with this type of pain. Because I know how to navigate around it. I know how to move through it. I know what I'm gonna get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't know is if I give my heart and soul to someone who shows up for me and then they let me down, that's scary.
Of course.
Because I'm vulnerable. I'm open.
Right.
But if I give part of me to someone who I know is going to destroy me, okay, I've been there, done that. I know exactly how this feels.
Right,
Takes me 3 days, bottle of booze, I'm good.
Monique, we love you for the call. Thank you for reaching out. You brought Detroit, Michigan in the building. Let's jump down to Shreveport, Louisiana. And, of course, that's S. Montgomery. Get in here.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hey, man, I just have to say again, thank you for having this platform. Thank you for this topic. A lot of stuff that you guys have talked about have really resonated with me. I had to go get a book and jot some stuff down just so I can make sure I go over and study it after, we've had our discussions. But I just had a couple of questions. Mr. Tony said some things that I've actually been thinking about. And he talked about, avoiding, like, lack of being in a relationship, avoiding certain relationships. It could have some type of effect because you don't, there's no one there to tell you what your issues are. As long as you are by yourself, you're not really tackling your demons until someone brings that to your attention.
Right.
Which is exactly what I feel like I've been going through for the past few, I would say, months. Can you kind of just explain or can you kind of go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, let me be clear. I don't advocate being in a relationship for the sake of being in one. Okay, I don't advocate being in a relationship for the sake of being in one, but I do think that we can be under the false sense of security that as long as we stay alone, we're going to be okay.
Right.
Right.
Alone is the easier road.
Exactly. And the only reason it's easier is because you're not being challenged. So I'm saying don't be afraid to go into a relationship because you'll learn more about yourself from your partner than you'll ever learn from yourself. That's what I'm saying.
You think?
Absolutely.
I think it's a two-way street. I think it's both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's both. But, hey, S. Montgomery, we love you. You done brought Shreveport up in here. Listen.
That's where my people from.
Let me explain this to y'all, man. We don't have all the answers, but we have a damn good conversation every night. And it's designed to get you to look up things so you can stretch your perspective. How many of you guys heard of George Gurdjieff?
I hadn't until you introduced me to him.
Come on, man. Look up George Gurdjieff and look up his philosophy on self-remembering as a way of coming to terms with oneself, right? How do I deal with me? We ask people this all the time. You want to be in a relationship with somebody that loves you to death, but you don't like certain parts of yourself, right. Or you obscure certain parts of yours. You push certain parts down. You present in such a way as if to say that aspect doesn't exist in me, right?
Yeah.
And you run from opportunities that could reveal these parts.
Right. And with unmitigated gall, say, I need you to love all of me. I haven't seen all of you.
You ain't seen all of you.
You ain't seen all of you. You ain't seen you in 30 years.
Hey, knowledge of self is the key. I'm telling you. Listen, we started the conversation. It's your job to finish it. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, always on fire. Up next, to keep that fire lit, you know what it is. It's RSVP with Jill Monroe. Listen, I started it. You finish it. I love y'all. See you tomorrow.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House says President Biden was never in business with his son Hunter. That's what President